Hi, Ritika Gawal. This is the first video that I'm going to upload in my YouTube channel. I hope this will be helpful for your doubt solving problems. I know this is a lockdown time and the schools are not conducting the normal classes. Many students are facing problem with this. So I hope my lesson will help you out with help out to solve your problem. So let's begin. I have chosen a very easy chapter. I have selected the most easiest chapter from the ICSE board, and the subject which I am dealing is biology. The chapter name which I will discuss today is transpiration. We know every day trees, plants, shrubs or herbs loses water. This loss of water is basically by process of evaporation. This loss of water is essential for the plant. Why? If this water gets accumulated inside the leaves or in the plants, their metabolic activity will get disturbed. Hence, they will not be able to survive and they will perish. So, we have seen the loss of water is essential part of a plant. The term that we use for the loss of water from the aerial parts of the plants is transpiration. So basically we can conclude that transpiration is a evaporative loss of water from the aerial part. Basically aerial part may include stems and leaves, especially through a special structure called stomata. Now we know this evaporative loss of water will have some effect and some disadvantage for the plant. What are the effects or what are the advantages part of this transpiration? It cools the plant as water. During the loss of water, it loses in the form of water vapor. So the plants needs to absorb heat energy, which helps in the cooling effect of the plant. Okay, what is a loss? Excessive loss happens in transpiration. So plants need to uptake large amount of water from the soil particles so that they can continue with their process and they are not disturbed in any biological process. So till now we have discussed about the definition of transpiration. So what we know about the transpiration? Transpiration is the evaporative loss of water from the aerial part of the plant, which are mainly leaves or stem, which have a special structure called stomata. Now we will see the modes of transpiration. We know the leaf has a large surface area. This large surface area of the leaf provides the maximum area for the rate of for the transpiration to occur. Now if we dive into the leaf structure, we will view this structure that the leaf has in. The first thing which we will see under microscope is the surface of the epidermis. What is epidermis? We know epidermis is the outer layer of a part. So this is the outer part of the leaf. If we see the vein and the whole body, that calls a mesophyll layer. Now we know that stomata plays a very crucial role for the plant as it helps in the exchange of gases as well as in transpiration also. So this stoma which is present inside the leaf help in the maximum rate of transpiration. Phloem and xylem, what are their function to do in the plant? Phloem conducts food that the leaves prepare. Once the leaf prepare the food by the process of photosynthesis, the phloem then is a vessel which conducts the food from the leaves to the rest of the parts of the plant. What does a xylem do now? Basically xylem is a pipe like our tank connection. When our tank the water is stored in a tank and it is distributed to different pipe connections, similarly xylem plays a role of a pipe. The water absorbed from the soil by the help of a root is transported by xylem to the rest of the part to continuous activity. Now we'll see this air space. What is the air space do? This air space is nothing. Basically it helps in the vaporization of the water which will be evaporating when conditions are optimum, or it helps in transpiration to take place. It is a space where the evaporation or water is converted to water vapor. What is stoma? Stoma is basically the outer layer of the stomata. What does a guard cell do? We know basically guard means to protect. Similarly, guard cell over here are the cells which protect the stomata from mechanical injury, from any kinds of injury that the plant can suffer from. It is a protective part of the stomata. Now we'll discuss three modes of the transpiration. Number one, what are they? Number 1, stomatal transpiration. So by the name you all can guess what is stomatal transpiration. We know many pores are present on the leaf, on the upper surface or the lower surface, both on both sides of the leaves. Many pores are present. These pores are basically the stomata. These pores open especially during the daytime and they are closed at night. And opening and closing of stomata basically help in transpiration. When the stomata open during the daytime, carbon dioxide, that is gaseous exchange take place, as well as the water which has been converted to water vapor is released out through this stomata to the atmosphere. Since the transpiration takes place through stomata, so the process is known as stomatal transpiration. What is cuticle transpiration? That is the number 2 mode of transpiration. We have seen in the overview of a leaf that cuticles are present inside the leaves. This is a minute opening. So small amount of transpiration also takes through cuticle. That is known as cuticular transpiration. But the amount of transpiration that takes place through cuticle is lesser than that takes place through stomata. 1% or 2% of water gets evaporated through this part of the leaf. Number third mode of transpiration is lenticular transpiration. What is lenticule? We know lenticule is present in the old stems of a woody plant. Through this opening, through this lenticles, the water is released out in a form of water vapor. This process is known as lenticular transpiration. Why lenticular? Since it has been released through a lenticule. Now we are going to discuss the factors affecting the transpiration. We know the rate of transpiration is basically affected by the atmospheric conditions. What are the atmospheric conditions? Number 1 comes sunlight. Depending upon the intensity of the sunlight, the opening or closing of stomata is related. So indirectly, sunlight plays a major role in the rate of transpiration. If the intensity of sunlight is very high, that is, it is very sunny day, stomata opens fully and the rate of transpiration is highest during that time. But similarly, if we compare at the night time when there is no sunlight, that is, the sun has already set, then the stomatas are closed, and in that condition the rate of transpiration is null or very low compared to the daytime. So we can say the sunlight plays a major role in the rate of transpiration. Number 2 comes temperature. We know that when we are outside we feel hot. That means there is something when there is a high temperature, we also feel there is many changes in our body, we also feel uncomfortable. Similarly, when the temperature is high or when it is very hot outside, the evaporation or the rate of transpiration is very high. Or when the temperature is low, similarly in the rainy season or something, that time the rate of transpiration is very low or less basically. Number 3rd is humidity. What do you mean by humidity? Humidity is basically the amount of water that is present in the atmosphere. So basically when the air is dry or when there is less moisture content in the atmosphere, obviously the atmosphere have a capacity to receive more water, and in that condition the rate of transpiration is much higher. Similarly, when atmosphere already has an abundant amount of water in it, why will it go and take some more water from the plant? In that condition, the water released by the plant is in lesser amount. there is a water pressure created inside the plant during humid condition. Number 4, wind. What is wind? A blowing of air is basically wind. So obviously we know, categorize wind into two parts: a still air or a moving air. So what do you mean by still air and moving air? When the air keeps on moving, or when the wind is blowing in a high speed, it has a ability to withdraw the water from the area of the transferring plant to somewhere else. But when the air is still, that means there is no air blowing. In that condition, the water prevails in this area where the plant is transpiring, and the rate of transpiration becomes slow because there's already water in that area. Why will it lose any more water and comes in a deficit manner? So we see moving air has more ability to remove water from the transpiring area than the still air. That's why when the rate of transpiration is high, that means moving air is prevalent there. Number 5 is the ability of the water. When water is already present in the surrounding air, why will it take more water from the root or more water from the soil? This basically result in such a condition, there has to be a maintenance in the release and absorption of water. If I keep on releasing water, or if I continuously lose water from my body gets dehydrated. Similarly, when a plant loses excessive amount of water without any absorbing water from the soil, it will also become dehydrated, or it will soon die in the deficient of water. That's why a maintenance of water has to be there. The amount of water absorbed should not exceed the amount of water released. Otherwise, the metabolic activity gets hampered and the plant has many disadvantages for that. So basically today we have discussed about what is transpiration, the modes of transpiration, the 3 modes, that is stomatal transpiration, cuticle transpiration and lenticular transpiration. Then we have discussed the factors affecting the rate of transpiration. Basically the climatic factors are involved in controlling the rate of transpiration. Remember, while answering the question from this part, you should be very particular with the words and the terms. This part is very scoring, and basically direct question comes from this part. I prefer you to study this part properly and answer this question, because these are more scoring than to attempt any give reasons. Because in give reasons we basically miss out a technical term and we lose marks. So what are the important terms we need to remember while answering the question from this part? Number 1, in definition of transpiration, evaporative word is very, very important, because the water in form of water vapor is only released. Directly water is not released. Number 2, is excessive loss. Aerial part and the word stomata. These 4 words has to be present in your definition so that you can fetch full marks from this. Direct question comes from this portion. Basically via experiment they ask a definition, or directly they ask the definition of transpiration. Next, in the modes of transpiration, you have to study the location of each of the parts like stomata, cuticles or lenticles. Even with that you have to study their function. So What we can conclude? Modes: stomata, lenticule, cuticle. From these three you have to study function plus location. When I will be discussing questions, you will be very clear how types of question comes from this part. Number third is the factors that we have discussed. In the factors, you have to write how they are dependent and how they affect the rate of transpiration, like they're inversely proportional, directly proportional, or they help in some other way. So factors you have to be very clear with, because easy question comes and you can fetch full marks from this. I hope the video which I recorded will help you out to clear the introduction of the transpiration. Thank you.